Yeah, what's up? I'm Coach Rich Thurman, also known as Coach RT3, and today we're going to talk about cat-cow and how you might be able to modify it in order to get more out of your spine. Before we get started, make sure you smash the subscribe button so you never miss a post from me again. All right, so most of you have seen cat-cow. So what you'll see is a person go into flexion of the spine, so rounding through the back here as much as they can, and then you'll see them go into extension, right? And this global movement is what people consider to be cat-cow, but it doesn't take into account that we have multiple joints along the spine that are able to articulate with each other. So when we go into that flexion, so as much flexion as we can, what we want to do is we want to think about each of those joints and we want to try and segment them. So imagining starting right here at the tail, I'm going to ask Yana to tuck her tail under as much as she can, trying to round as much through this lower spine as she can. Now, as you can see, it's kind of flat through here, which means she could probably serve to get a little bit more flexion or do a little bit more work to improve the flexion through this area. Okay, so we're trying to squeeze out as much flexion as we can here, tucking the tail under, so trying to bring the belt buckle on the front of the pants towards the face to create this nice C shape. But what we're going to do is we're going to segment starting at the lower part of the back. And I'm going to imagine there's a little person walking at each point. And at each point, she's going to try and drop down segmentally into extension as I move each and every step along the way, dropping each and every piece down as this little person walks up the spine. Now, if you're cueing somebody to do this, then you need to apply a little bit of pressure so they have some sensation of where they're trying to contract. And if you're doing this for the first time and you're feeling it for the first time, you might not feel a whole lot. And why is that? That's because we're so used to moving globally through the spine that we're unable to contract the stuff along the way that controls the spine as you go. So now she's in extension. I want her to squeeze out as much extension as she can. So she's going to bring her head back. She's going to bring her tailbone towards the back of her head. She's going to try and bring the thoracic spine towards the floor, so trying to pull away from my fingers as much as she can, trying to bring her sternum to the floor. Okay, so she's getting out all that extension, as much extension as she can through here. Now, we're going to start from the bottom again, and I'm going to have her tuck the tailbone again and work her way up through here. So now she's trying to go into flexion through each and every point that I'm cueing. She's rounding, trying to round as much as she can through those points while keeping this in as much extension as she can. It's hard to do, but it's okay. It's a learning experience. We're learning to reconnect with our body. And so she's flexing through here, she's flexing through here, she's flexing through here, and as we move up the spine, she's flexing more and more and more. And this little person is walking up and more, and she's trying to get as much flexion as she can out of her spine until she gets all the way up here to the top, and then she's going to tuck her chin under at the end, segmenting through her cervical spine. So now she's got that C shape again, and what she can do is she can go back the opposite direction. Okay, so that's a way you can get more out of your cat-cow. Remember, flexion and extension are the fundamental movements of the spine. So the better you can flex and extend, the better you can control this stuff here, the better and healthier your spine is going to be. If you like this video, share my